Hi, everybody.
Welcome to the Barrel Roll Post Credit
Show. And now that that's been said, welcome. Hold on, Brian.
This guy.
It's a Brian.
This guy. This guy.
If you didn't watch the last show, Brian's kind of
called in.
He's snowed in a little bit. So.
He's phoning it in.
I'm just a wimp. I don't like to drive in like icy conditions.
I love driving in icy conditions. I don't know.
There's nothing better than driving in icy conditions. I don't know what you're talking about, Brian. I laughed.
Drifting is.
It's how he Tokyo drifts.
Yeah.
I was saying, Brian, I laughed because the message Brian sent was, "It's cold and the roads are bad," and it's like, no, it's not cold outside, Brian.
It's cold outside.
It is not cold outside. I went and just shoveled all of my stuff. It is not cold out, but the roads are junk, so I will give you roads are junk. We went to school in -40 once.
I did my road test in the snow.
You can do things not in the snow. In Edmonton?
I guess so.
There's times with no snow in Edmonton?
Swimming?
Yeah, you can do that in the snow.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
You go to the water park.
Yeah. Welcome to the Post Credit Show, guys.
Yes.
We talk about movies and games we've played,
and
everything else in between.
Yes.
My name's Tony.
I'm Nick.
Welcome.
I'm Brian.
That guy.
Okay, you guys introduced me.
What?
What?
We don't have to introduce you.
Well, you don't have to.
No, you already did.
They can see you.
Oh,
it's quite clear.
You are on the screen.
Yes. Let's get
to some things.
Let's
right,
this
the leave call
big
buttons
show
up
in the
again on
row.
our... Yes, let's do that. I can start, I guess.
Yes.
My wife and I are again watching Kids Baking Championship. It is back on TV.
Oh, good.
There's a kid from Vancouver.
Ah.
The girl we've been rooting for almost got booted on the last episode.
Ooh.
She ended up in the bottom. They had to make macarons.
Like the coconut ones or
the cookie ones.
I never understood like getting really into one particular chef in the competition before until I watched Netflix's show, and then I was really rooting for one team. So I totally understand where you guys are coming from. Like, okay, we like this chef or we like this group.
Our big piece is legitimately, especially the Kids Baking Championship. It's which kid annoys us the least.
I guess so.
Because really, like, there's one kid in every episode. I mean, it was kind of cute to watch, but like they gave them marzipan on one episode that they had to use in their baking, and he ate like half the brick himself. And that's all he'd do in every show. It was just like he's eating. Whenever they pan to him, he's like, "Oh no!"
How old are these kids? Like
9 to 12.
Okay, all right.
But and he's like, "It's just so good," and you're like, "Maybe you should concentrate on your baking."
No.
If you'd like to win this show.
No, I'm winning by eating this candy.
Well, he got kicked off. So, you know. That's one of those ones that's kind of funny. But legitimately, like, there's someone who's good at baking, and you go, okay, this person really deserves to win. The person that got kicked off the last time, I think, should have stayed. Because, and again, that's the problem with a lot of these competitions, you've rocked it for 3 episodes and done really, really well, and then all of a sudden you're doing really poorly because you get something you can't make. Mm-hmm. So all of a sudden they end up on these, the French macaron thing. They're the little cookies with the pastry on the inside, not to be confused with a macaroon, which is like a pile of coconut and that. But they have to do those, and he underbaked his, and this, like, it was just a bad day, but he's better than that, and all of a sudden,
he just whiffs.
He's the one that's gone, and you're going,
yeah, you whiffed it hard.
You whiffed hard, and it sucks, and you're sitting there going, because when our girl ended up in the bottom 3, you're going, oh no!
Yeah, when we were watching the final table, the group that we really, really liked was the guys who were, I don't want to say like vegetarian and vegan people are negative, but these guys were really, really positive. That's how they did all of their cooking. They didn't use any meat. They tried to use as much parts of the vegetable or fruit or whatever to show.
Were those the guys that cooked with crickets?
Yes.
I hated them.
Oh, we loved them.
I hated them.
The first like 2 episodes we couldn't stand them.
The hippies?
No. But as soon as we started watching like their like methodology, it actually I was super into them.
And I get that. That's the fun part about those shows.
was
Is
super into
you
them.
get into that kind of stuff. Like,
So, and I totally get that. Like everyone's got their own piece to it.
one of my coworkers is now like actually conversing type friends with the Scottish guy.
Yeah.
There's FaceTiming involved
Oh,
now,
good.
like actual talking. I'm like, oh,
All right.
wow,
Progress. I
different.
Guess. All right.
Cool.
But yeah, so junior chefs, cooking chef. What's the show called?
Kids Baking Championship.
Kids Baking Challenge.
So it's Duff Goldman who does. He did a bunch of cake shows originally on Food Network, and Valerie, something Italiano sort of last name. She has a cooking show on the but they're really good hosts when it comes to the kids. So there's that one.
Like Gordon Ramsay.
Again, I love him when it comes to
I did end up watching that
the MasterChef Kids.
No, the
the Hot Ones
wings.
thing. Yeah,
Yeah, that was a good. That was funny. The last, I want to see a supercut of that, just him dropping the F-bomb.
yeah, I know. Someone did. They tallied it up online as to like how many F-bombs he dropped. Yeah, it was pretty spectacular. And then like as the show went on, the increasing severity of how often he was swearing.
He wasn't even answering the questions at the end.
No one does at the end of those things. It's like, what is wrong with this hot wing?
Alton did.
Alton did. Alton is a miracle, though.
Yeah, he's a wonder. He's a gem.
In all honesty, the hot ones with the actors, I'm not entirely fond of. I like the ones with chefs.
The Tenacious D one was all right.
I even watched the one with Key and Peele. Like, it's funny for 2 seconds, and then they just start complaining about the hotness of the wings. Like, at least the food people...
Yeah, the food critics, like...
actually discuss...
Gordon Ramsay,
the
Alton
hot
Brown.
wing. Yeah, like Rachel Ray's on there. I want to watch her. Guy Fieri did one. Like, I don't know, you don't like him, but he did one, and that one was good. But yeah, you just kind of like, oh, okay. If you want another one with Gordon Ramsay that's fun, he was on James Corden.
Oh God, that would be great.
And he did Spill Your Guts or Fill Your Guts. So it's a bunch of gross stuff on a Lazy Susan table. And they each have questions that they have to answer. So like one of the ones that Gordon on his card had to ask James Corden was, out of the 3 things you endorse, so like Chase Bank, something else, and something else, which one don't you actually use?
Savage.
And they're all on cards, so like it's already pre-written. They don't have to think of questions. And then being Gordon Ramsay, he's like, oh, these chicken feet we're gonna marinate in like the pickle brine juice or whatever it is too. So he like took 2 things and put them together. So they started doing that to each other, and one of the questions that Gordon has to answer is put Wolfgang Puck, Jamie Oliver, and Bobby Flay in order from best to worst.
Whoa.
He loves Wolfgang Puck, though, doesn't he?
You'll find out if you watch the James Corden interview.
Also, James Corden is another
James
gem.
Corden is actually, yes.
He's legitimately
He's
funny.
delightful.
Yeah.
I like him. I like Seth Meyers. I like Colbert.
Colbert's fun for like political stuff.
And yes, because he's very intelligent on the front of that kind of thing. And also when it came to comedy, because Rowan Atkinson was on his show, and he was pretty much just because of the Johnny English stuff, and he was pretty much just like fanboying over the fact that he had Rowan Atkinson there. So it's just like, that's good.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so James Corden's another one you can watch. I've continued to watch more Game Grumps because that's kind of my like end of the day kind of thing now. I've kicked my Brooklyn Nine-Nine kick of 8,000 rewatches, so I just watch those 2 play games. Because then I don't have to buy these dumb games that they end up playing, which is delightful.
Yeah, I did that with Giant Bomb.
Yeah.
At Giant Bomb, they're like, don't play this.
Well,
game.
no, it's perfect. Like, there's some games that are really like quick, or they look kind of just intriguing, but then you look and it's like, it's $20 that you got to drop, and they play it, and sometimes they'll go through it a couple times just to make sure that they've done everything, and it's like, this is good, and they're fun people. So there's always that. Kids Baking Championship. I started thanks to Brian. So Brian's computer is missing in action currently. So last night we went to play on the PlayStation, and he was like, I'm playing God of War, and I'm like, I will also play God of War.
Are you guys God of War-ing?
So I restarted God of War because I completely forgot.
You're looking for you
What
want to bring the ashes to the
I got back to there.
You want to bring the ashes to the top of the mountain.
And legitimately, I didn't feel bad about restarting because I had just beaten up the stranger.
Oh yeah.
And left, and we had done the that scene where they look and they see the ring of protection has been broken.
Yep.
I've got to there the last time, and that's kind of where I'm like, okay, cool. And then started playing something else. So I'm like, I know I wasn't that far, so I might as well just replay the beginning to make sure I've got it all down, the controls and everything.
It's surprisingly tight. Those controls
they're great.
Really good in that
Yeah.
game. Like going from where that series was to
You mean
that,
button mashing everything?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is still a little button mashy, but it's tactical button mashy.
It's tactical.
It's very Devil May Cry. Not as fast as Devil May Cry.
No, but
that style.
it has brought itself up to the Arkham games and Spider-Man. Like, you know, there's actual button presses.
Yeah.
Not that it's combo,
Strategic.
combo, but it's
a little
like
more strategic.
there's light, heavy, and they actually do different things. And then again with the kid, you know, that
Atreus,
adds to it.
again, max out Atreus's arrow thing.
Yeah, he could die. I'm so annoyed by that child.
Yes.
I'm so annoyed by that child.
If you're annoyed by him now, there is a character arc. I want to say about halfway through the game.
Yeah.
Where you're gonna hate him even more.
I think that's where Brian is.
You're gonna hate him even more.
Because Brian was like, he's gotten more annoying.
No.
And then mine almost fell off a bridge, and I'm like, yes. And then you have to go and save him, and I'm like, oh, damn.
He actually, by the end of the game, you will appreciate him. He's actually, his character changes.
Challenge accepted. Either way, God of War, fantastic game.
So good.
I've been playing Planet Coaster. I'm almost done my main street. If you watched my last stream, all I did was hang lights. It was delightful.
See, yeah, said it. You said the thing in the thing.
So yeah, I mean, my Planet Coaster streams are going to be a little boring right now because legitimately it's just fine detail work that I'm doing. But and the lights take forever because I'm trying to string them so they actually hang properly and work via physics instead of just like lights on all the buildings.
Right.
But I have found a way now that my streams don't actually stutter. So I have an actual like smooth stream now, which is actually nice.
Good.
Yeah, I know. I just changed one setting.
Don't stutter setting. It's a setting.
Yeah,
it's a setting from 0 to 1.
Stop. Yeah. So that's nice. At least that's going. My time at Portia, I've got another bunch of videos coming out this week.
Yeah, that game came out of early access and was officially out now, isn't it?
That's when I started. That's why I started playing it because I played a little bit of it before while it was in early access, and then it was one of those things where I'm like, I will enjoy this game. I'm now going to take a step back because I don't want to. Like, I don't want to run into something where it's like, oh, this isn't done yet. Come back later. I was just like, I will wait for the whole thing to be done. So that's what I'm now doing. So I think there's up to episode 19 or 20 coming out now. So there's short burst episodes and that kind of thing. And then Brian and I played more Sims 4.
Tried to hit on people in a restaurant.
Tried to hit on people in a
Chinese
karaoke bar and
Korean restaurant.
And then we were outside at a art festival, or no, a comedy festival. And yes, there was 2 Asian food booths.
Yes. Yes.
We both did not do well.
Just hit on everything.
But that's essentially now at this point in the game where, like, even
also get jobs.
We got jobs. So here's the next piece. Is I was talking to Smalls, who's another streamer that we've been chatting with, and she's all like, they do go on sale on the Origin store. Like, wait for sales. Yeah. So I wait for sales
all the time.
Well, so we bought the one because you can bundle.
Yep.
So for $64, you can get
basically.
Well, you can get you can get an expansion, you can get like an adventure pack, and you can get extra junk. So I got bowling because I'm like, I'll build a bowling alley. That's fun. I got camping.
The outdoor one?
Yeah, I think I got camping for us, and then I got city living, so we could live in an apartment. Because that was a big piece. Is when we tried to build a house, it just didn't work. Either way, I logged on the other night, and all the expansions were half off.
Yeah, it happens like, I want to say once a month.
Either way, I've got all the expansions. Because...
You're going deep in.
Well, you know what, at this point, the way Brian and I have been going, it's like, we have all the expansions, we just have that many more options for different things to do on the stream.
Yeah.
So they weren't installed on the last stream. We were about to start streaming, and I'm like, all of them are available. But then it was like 10 gigs worth of expansions to install.
It's The Sims, everyone. The
Yeah.
Sims. Perpetual expansions.
In all honesty, if you get an expansion like that every year where it adds stuff to the game, as long as you keep up, it's not actually that expensive.
Yeah.
Because it's like playing...
I know my fiance just watches out for those sales too. She just bought something else recently. I don't know what it is, but she bought it.
Yeah. Well, and then I logged on last night, and they had one of the other, like, bonus pack things, like the stuff packs, on for half off. So the Laundry Day one that I've been kind of watching for. And it was like, that was on sale. And I'm like, okay. But all the expansions are now bought. We have most of the adventure packs, so Brian and I can go camping. We can go adventuring in the jungle.
Now, when you guys like do stuff like that, do you guys both have to go at the same time?
Technically, no.
Okay.
Technically, Brian could go camping, and I could go somewhere else.
Okay.
But for that episode,
Okay.
whoever we're not watching is controlling themselves.
All right.
Like, we don't have... So we could send Nick off to the bar
Yes.
and not know what happens until we
Yes.
come back to him as
Yes.
we watch Brian camp.
Yes.
So essentially, at this point, we're traveling together places so we can at least control a modicum amount of what our Sims do.
No.
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 But at this point, too, there are now new jobs available because of these expansions.
Yeah.
We have new neighbors, new people we can meet, all that jazz, which is going to be nice.
Yep.
So the jobs we have, Brian just took a random one the last time to make the most amount of money possible.
Of course, min-max it. That sounds about right.
But at this point now, like, a veterinarian is an option, so he can become a vet, which I think that's what you were aiming for at this point, right?
Like in my real life?
No.
No.
Like in The Sims. That's what you were kind of waiting for? When I said we could change jobs later?
Oh, yeah.
Because you were all like, my thing is to become a bartender or mixologist. Like, that's the
Yay.
ambition. And then it's like, you have all these different jobs, and he's like, oh, okay, I'll just
A
take the one that pays me
veterinarian,
the
a
most.
veterinarian mixologist.
Well, and a veterinarian, you can actually own your own vet clinic. And
Yeah, that's part of the pets expansion.
That's part of the pets expansion, which is in frickin' depth.
You can make your own animal.
Legitimately make your own, like, the painting and the this and the
Colors,
like the whole
yeah.
thing. I'm sitting there like, and they have breeds that I did not think they. So I used to own Keyshounds.
Yeah.
Big fluffy, they're in the game, and I'm going as a just automatic. You can have one, and I'm like,
That's an oddly specific.
it's very oddly specific. And then there's Fox. Fox is one.
Fox
You
is
can
a
be
dog.
Fox. Yeah.
It's a dog. It's a dog.
It's
Fox
a dog.
is-
It's a
yes,
dog. It's
Fox-
not. It's
yeah,
dog's
yeah.
dog.
It's not. Yeah, it's not a fox. It's a dog.
But
Same
yeah,
thing,
you can
same-
pick head shape, ear shape, the tail, whether it goes up or down or this or that, and I'm like, okay.
Mhm.
So
They basically expanded the character creator to animals.
to animals, it's amazing.
Animals.
So again, paying for that expansion,
Yes.
cool.
Yep.
Like the expansions do at least feel like they add to the game.
And I think that's what every year or two they try
Right.
to put a big one out.
We get a big one, so like the Get Famous one, so we can actually in our apartment, if we make any sort of money, we can put like a streaming desk in, and actually like
Oh
stream.
God.
Oh yeah.
Ah!
Now the best part about
I
all
hate
this,
video games.
the best part about all this is like
I'm gonna stream this game pretending to be I'm a streamer.
streamer, exactly.
I'm gonna stream a game while I'm streaming.
The best thing I think about The Sims is you can take, because I was talking to someone about it, and it's like you can take extra risks for things, and you can do things you wouldn't normally do in real life. Like
Right.
Brian and I can now go, camping. I don't camp.
We can change that.
Yeah, no,
We
I
can
don't.
change
I
it.
don't camp.
We can change
It's not that I want it to change. I don't actually really like camping.
We'll change that.
Oh.
We can
It is cold. It is damp.
fishing, fighting bears.
Nope.
Yeah.
I can stay I can stay in a hotel or an Airbnb. I have television. I can go outside if I want nature. Like when I go to Banff, we stay in a hotel and then leave the hotel to go into nature. I don't
So you do
need
golf?
I don't need nature to be
golf?
that far away from me.
But you can have campfires.
I can have a campfire if I stay in a hotel and go to a place where they have campfire pits.
But you can have a campfire and then go to bed right after that.
I can just leave the campfire pit if I go to the right place.
The parking lot does not count.
Well, no, because like when we go to Banff, we usually go during the winter. The last time we went, they had a
during the winter that makes sense. I will never camp during the winter.
Yeah,
they had a
they
had a snow sculpture thing going. So next to all the snow sculpture, not right next to, because that would be a horrible idea. But like in the vicinity, they did. They had big fire pits going, so you could go stand. You could have a nice little fire pit thing going. You could talk to some random people that you meet, and then it's like, I'm tired of this, and I'm going to a place with walls and a bed.
With walls.
Camping.
And the way people camp now, like the trailers and the RVs and all that stuff, like
no, that's not camping.
That's not camping. Well, we're going outside. No, you're taking a house with you to a to a non-permanent.
You're
lot.
taking something that's ostensibly larger than my place.
I did. I stayed in an RV the one time that was it had a fireplace, 2 double beds. Bath,
laundry machine,
the bathroom, the
dishwasher,
the full kitchen. Oh,
dishwasher. Yeah. When you have a dishwasher inside of your RV, why?
Again, why are you RVing? Why are you paying that much for an RV? Go stay in a hotel,
or live in it,
or rent an Airbnb at that point.
Yeah, rent it out as an Airbnb.
Rent it out. It's just on your front street. That's what people go into.
Hey man, if it makes
it's illegal, you can't park your RV on the front street.
Well, on the back street then.
If your driveway's big, really big driveway. Either way, so yeah, on The Sims we can now do pretty much everything. I was excited for bowling, and now we can do like.
Yeah, you spent a lot of time on a bowling alley.
I spent a lot of time on that bloody bowling alley.
You spent a lot. I think like way more time than you probably needed to.
I more did the bowling, so I didn't actually stream the bowling alley, but I built the bowling alley more as like. How does the building mechanic work? So same with even I've looked at building animals just to be like, okay, how long is this going to take us?
What is the most terrifying animal you can create?
Also that. So you can legitimately like you can put a smiley face on your dog. Like you can paint on your
It's natural.
Yeah.
It's natural.
That's story-free.
Huh?
No, it's normal.
Yeah, no, like, and if you want stripes on whatever, you can put stripes. Like, you can do all the little pieces. Yeah,
it's normal.
It's pretty crazy what's
Zebra
available.
print on my corgi, please.
Essentially, yes. Yeah. So yeah, we might do animals on a stream. We might just make them off a stream and then introduce them on stream.
My corgi zebra.
It just depends on how long they take. But we are gonna get animals at some point. And again, there's vampires in our game now. Technically, yeah, the creepy walk. I can't even think of all the expansions. I got the Get Famous one, so there's new zones that have opened up with new shops and new this and new that. And
I'm sure if you spend like 5 minutes with my fiance, she'll like give you.
Oh no, for sure.
Give you the R&D of like low down of like what's what.
Well, and it's legitimately like they give you like here's the new features available, and I'm like what does that mean?
You can do first-person mode, I think.
There is a first-person mode.
Which I think
really?
I saw Smalls do that the other day.
I think you should try that out.
Yeah, I saw Smalls do that the other day.
And my understanding is that with the first-person mode, they also introduced not levels, but you can make different. Instead of just making one flat level, you can actually make a house that's on a different angle terrain.
Interesting. Well, we can't do that because we're in a.
You're in a different.
We're in an apartment building.
No, but when you move out.
Yeah. One day we shall move out and have
make a house.
Fun
Build
house.
A house.
I don't know if we'll ever move into a house.
Build a house.
I think an apartment's fun.
The apartment's working out pretty good, other than the fact that our neighbors just let themselves in now.
That's normal though.
Yeah.
You can't like
they have
lock
really
loud
loud
to specific people, which
really
Brian's
loud
gonna do
too.
now because Brian hates our neighbors.
Damn.
If you watched the stream, they were loud one night and Brian stomped over there.
Weren't they like
and then
having
that was
sex in...
No, that was so the one night they were having a party, like there was music coming out the door, and then Brian had gone to work and I was sitting there reading a book, and all of a sudden my guy got angry, and I'm like, why is he angry? And yeah, there was hearts coming out of the door, and I'm like, oh, I'm not interrupting that. So I just left.
I would laugh.
I called the one girl, or I called the one sim who was married, and I was like, want to go out?
Do it.
And then while we were out, I was like, ooh, there's another one, like running across a park to like, hi, meet people.
You're doing it wrong.
So many people to meet now. Nick in The Sims is quite the player, I guess, so far. He sucks at it, but...
Everybody knows your name.
Yeah. And then maybe one day we can own a business. Like, there's so many options now that have opened up to what we can actually do.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe we can run
Yeah,
our
we
own
can like
bar.
buy a restaurant.
We could, well, screw a restaurant. We can own a bar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could be a mixologist.
You could be a mixologist in a bar.
Veterinarian mixologist.
Veterinarian mixologist. It legitimately is. It's like talking to kids with, like, dolls. It's like, what does your doll do? And it's like, it's a cosmetologist and a cosmonaut.
You guys opened up a cat bar.
Oh, God.
Ah, yeah. Cat
kitty bar.
I don't know how they pull those off legally.
What, cat cafes?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Because, like, that breaks so many health codes.
Tell that to Japan.
But like, I get it in Japan, there's, like, the codes.
There's no rules.
What? No.
There's no rules.
But people who open those kind of places, like, in North America, it's like, how?
Well, if you ever think about it, in a house, if your cat's pooping, it's not going to stop. Like,
I get that, but you're not in a house. You're going to a restaurant that has rules. Like, there's so many bylaws and rules. That's the only thing I think about is, like, how do they pull that off? With
we have to go. We'll find out.
I'm not going to a cat cafe.
Why not?
There's cat hair and everything. There's cats everywhere.
It's in the name.
I know, that's why I'm not...
It's in the
They've warned me. It's not like it's a surprise. Walk in, like, why are there so many cats?
It's a dog cafe.
I should be that guy walking in.
What do you guys do here?
I don't understand your sign.
Can you explain it legally?
Either way, I think what we're doing, Brian, is an interesting experiment into The Sims.
I like it.
Because there is a multiplayer mod.
Yeah.
But I think what we're doing is a little bit more frantic at times, too. Because, like, Brian had to pee, and I'm like, I'm hitting on people over here.
Heck, I gotta pay.
Yeah, and then it's like, just go in the art gallery. It's locked. He's like...
Yeah, didn't he, like, you had to go to the restaurant, but you had to go to the washroom, but you ended up going home to go to the washroom?
We had to go home.
Yeah,
there was no restrooms out in that public square.
Oh.
So we had to go back home so he could pee, and then we went to bed. So
That sounds exciting.
Well, didn't I
no
go
one
home
came home
before
with
you?
anyone that night.
Huh?
I went home before you because
Shortly before, yeah, because you peed off screen.
yeah, and you came home and I was on the computer.
Yeah. Other than that, like, it's now just to focus on what we're gonna do for the rest of the game. Brian's probably gonna switch careers, obviously, at this point.
To be a mixologist.
Career change.
A mixologist veterinarian.
Yeah.
And like I said, there's all these new neighbors that we get to meet now, which is kind of exciting. The vampire piece in there is kind of weird. Yeah, the creepy walk. The blue guy is not making it into the game.
Can we make a new blue guy?
You cannot make a new blue guy. So one of my ideas is definitely having you and Chris make characters that will exist within the world of our Sims. But they cannot be blue.
Can they walk like this?
Chris's is definitely going to. Chris is going to pretty much recreate the blue guy, but not make him blue.
With a hair.
You're just so creepy.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, it's honestly, it's a solid game. There's a lot of cool stuff to it. The building mechanic is actually really fun. And I mean, that's what most people do on their streams is build. So again, I think us trying to in tandem play The Sims, someone was asking me about it yesterday on Discord, and it's like, well, how are you pulling this off? And it's like, it's essentially fighting over the mouse, but just using our voices. Like, if there was voice commands for The Sims, that's where we would be at this point, is like, Sims! Like, Brian Sim, pee!
Or just type it into the, into the box.
Nick Sim, go take a shower, but Brian's peeing. I don't care!
Go hit on girl.
Go hit on Brian while he's on the toilet.
Propose to him while he's on the toilet.
Awkward.
No, real life.
Real life. So yeah, no, it's a solid game, and yeah, all of the expansions went on sale, which was detrimental to my wallet, but in the long run, it'll work out well for what we're trying to do. Other than that, I haven't been playing a whole heck of a... I've tried Warframe on the Switch.
Yeah.
Solid third-person shooter slash ninja game.
Slash ninja.
It's a sci-fi ninja game.
Yeah.
Is the best way of describing it.
Ninjas play free.
It's online, if you want to.
Do you need the Switch Online service for that?
I don't honestly know. It doesn't use friend codes.
So
you could give it a shot.
Maybe.
I didn't read because I have it, so I didn't worry about it. There's no cross-play between any of the systems and stuff yet. Yet.
I feel like that's a viable next one.
But yeah, it's a solid game. You drop down into a map. You have an objective.
Is it 100 ninjas drop onto a map?
No.
Well, not as fun.
It's like 3 ninjas can drop into a map.
That's not as fun.
And I accidentally dropped in with another guy because you can set it to solo. And I accidentally didn't do that, and I dropped in with a guy, and I'm like, oh. And then he didn't move for like half the map. And then he finally started
He
moving.
told
And
us that, he's like, oh, I'm with someone else.
Pretty much. I'm like, oh. So then I shut that one off. I'm like, solo. Play by myself, yo. So, solid game. It's free to try.
Yeah, and you can buy Founders Packs and boxes.
You can buy all sorts of packs and
it's all
boxes. It's all
microtransactions.
It's all microtransactions. You can earn in-game currency and earn, like, blueprints for the forge to build yourself new stuff and upgrade your weapons and all that jazz. I'm still not 100% on how all of that comes down, but that's that.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's
I think I played something else on my Switch. I just can't remember what it is. Like, just something dumb. There you go.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what else I did last night. I hooked up my the Elgato Streambox thing to my TV switcher, so now we can stream PlayStation, Wii U, and Switch games.
Cool.
So there you go.
cool.
That might be something we can do at a later date and time.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know who's going next.
Brian,
Brian, how about
Brian.
how about them Sims?
Do you enjoy
Oh,
Sims?
yeah. Them Sims. I also did... There's another episode of Jurassic World Evolution to check out
Yes, there is.
from last Sunday.
There's probably not going to be one this week.
We'll see. We'll see.
I hope your
Maybe I
save
get
is on the
back
cloud.
Yeah. You backed up your save, right?
I did, yes. I backed it up. I backed it up.
Yuck, 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 yuck,
Uh,
yuck.
You're going on a
like you
fourth
said-
time.
Round 4! Like Nick said, we were playing God of War. Well, not together, but...
Yeah,
I
there's no
started playing
multiplayer
it.
in that version.
But we were playing together. We were just
Kratosing together.
yeah, we were sort of playing together, but
I
not
was
playing
Kratos
together.
1, he was Kratos 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, really awesome game. Really
Yeah,
awesome game.
it's a stellar game.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that game. It's just
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I beat Resident Evil 7.
Whoa, nice.
Yeah.
How many? How scary was it?
When you first start, it's super scary, but then you kind of get, as you go along, you kind of get used to when they're gonna scare you and all that stuff.
Okay.
Brian started playing with
and-
more lights on, obviously.
I'm gonna do it in VR.
I'm not gonna try in VR.
I'll
That's
do
too
it in
scary.
VR.
So you're gonna set up your camera before you VR, right?
That'd be awesome.
We don't
to
care
watch.
what's actually happening in the game. We just want to watch
Oh,
you.
jeez.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's not a. We don't need to know what's
You guys
happening
do
in the
that.
game. We just need to see you.
The
Yeah.
controls
That'd be
everywhere runs
super
off.
fun to see.
Pardon, Brian?
That'd be super fun to see.
I know. Just watching
Someone
Tony
played in
flail
VR.
about
Well,
fetal position.
But yeah, really good game as well.
I really want to play Resident Evil 2. Like it's
Looks
on,
really
solid.
good horror.
It's on my like. This is amazing looking.
Yeah.
It's like a solid.
I really want to. At some point, I want to try Resident Evil 2.
Have you ever finished Resident Evil 1?
No.
I don't think you need to.
You don't need to.
No. The events of Resident Evil 1.
They're fun to play in order.
They are, but it's not. There's no bearing on anything.
And yeah, 2
Yeah.
definitely.
Because
They've
two Wesker's not in 2, if I remember correctly, or if he is, he's like itty bitty,
trying to think again.
itty bitty.
Itty bitty.
Like I think you find his office is the most you find.
But 2 definitely looks very much different than 2 used to. They have very
Yeah.
much.
It's more it's night and like day.
Well,
like
they've
night.
Resident Evil 4'd it.
Yes.
Yeah.
And they
Which is
Yeah.
cool.
They use the Resident Evil 7 engine to
Yeah.
make it look awesome.
Yep.
I think what I've heard so far about Resident Evil 2 is that the acting, as much as the game looks like a modern game, the acting is straight from the 1998 game.
They totally.
It's the cheesy like hang in. Like there's that scene that everyone has seen so far where you're pulling a guy through a grate.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, the zombie gets him on the other side.
Yeah.
And then you're pulling him out, and then the top half of his body rips off.
Yeah.
And then Leon's response is, "Hang in there."
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm like,
You'll be okay, and you're just like,
Don't be
But
fine.
this
You'll be
is the
fine.
first. Hang in there.
I'm pretty sure you're not gonna be okay.
You don't need that other half of your
The one
body.
and only scary scene in any of the Resident Evil games was Resident Evil 1, where you go into the hallway and the dogs burst in the windows. Everybody knows if they've played it. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Jill,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it's Jill sandwiches.
Yeah.
It's
You're-
Jill. You were almost a Jill sandwich.
You're very correct, Goro. 187.
I don't know. I think the Nemesis and the Mr. X stuff has always been pretty terrifying. Because it's you never know when he's coming, but you know he's there, and you know you can't beat him. Is the crazy part about those characters. It's just you just have to plan your routes around him.
Yeah.
And then he can bust out of the wall at any minute.
In all honesty, like with the first Resident Evil games, it was the tank controls mixed with the awkward angle, like all of the stuff, right? So yeah, when the dogs burst through windows, you're going like because you don't know where to shoot, you don't know da 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 da. Also, why did Barry never get a damn game? Good question.
He did get a game.
May have sounded stereotyped.
Goro?
I wanted to play as the big black dude with a bazooka.
The Nemesis? Yes, Goro. Barry did get a game. He is
he in Revelitans?
Revelitans 2.
Yeah.
Yeah, he is one of the main characters in Revelitans 2.
That's what I thought.
So you can play as Barry at some point in time.
Yeah. Just not his own full-on.
Yeah, not as a full-on game. He's one of the playable...
And blame Resident Evil 4 and Leon for, making Leon the
badass?
Yeah.
And then making Chris Redfield a badass.
Yeah.
And then...
Yeah, because Chris Redfield definitely wasn't. Ever play the short-lived PS2 Resident Evil Online?
I've seen it. Okay, so it's a multiplayer game.
We tried one of these, didn't we?
No, we didn't. So what you're referencing there, Goro, it's the... you played online. I think it was a 4-player game, and you had to complete objectives. Yep. But if you died, you turned into a zombie.
Sweet.
So you could become the zombie in the online game. It was weird. Cool. It was an experiment.
It's like that Star Wars. That one
Ewok
mode
level.
You play as Ewoks.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Ewoks.
The most dangerous.
Stormtrooper got killed by an
so
Ewok.
Bad you could take a board of wood and trap players in rooms, and they
it wasn't
could
great.
Progress. It
they
was
actually
so easy to troll.
There was 2 versions of that. That was Resident Evil Online, and then like something Outbreak or whatever. There was 2 online versions of that.
Yeah, because I feel like we tried one of those kind of ones. It wasn't. Oh man, I forgot what it was now.
Like we tried it.
We sort of did. I think it was one of our first barrel roll for kids ones. Remember we were playing all those really bad games?
Resident Evil
Survivors or something.
No, not Survivors.
Something
not that bad.
Stupid.
Not that bad. Resident Evil
Umbrella.
No, it wasn't that one.
Oh man.
It wasn't Umbrella Chronicles. Search up Resident Evil PS3, I guess. I don't know, because it was on the PS3. That's where we played it. Which one was that? It was really bad.
Resident Evil.
And it was multiplayer, but it wasn't like the PS2 multiplayer.
Yeah. Multiplayer.
Because it came after, obviously, the Resident Evil 4 stuff.
Oh, five was
all right.
5 was multiplayer.
It was
6 was multiplayer. Nemesis, Resident Evil 7, Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 0. It's just giving me Resident Evil games now.
Show me all the
Operation Raccoon City.
That's the one.
That's the one.
That was the what if scenario. Yep.
That's
Sega Channel.
Yeah, the Sega Channel. I remember the Sega Channel.
We all wanted the Sega Channel.
Yeah.
And then it was all.
That's like terrible. You may all be too young, but anyone ever play. I never played the Sega Channel because we
never
trying to convince my parents to.
They never did it.
No.
It's like you already have a console. Just have this. We'd have to pay an extra month. No.
Yeah, my dad that is awesome. Legit. It was me going like, if we pay for the Sega Channel, all we do is and they're like, no.
If you ever looked into...
We rent you games already, and I'm like...
I know this is a bit of a sidebar. Have you ever read into the history of Nintendo games? Back in the early, 80s?
Yeah.
Late 80s, rather, when they were experimenting with different Nintendo franchises like Zelda and things like that. There used to be a live, legitimate live TV show of Zelda that you could actually play.
Cool.
And it was only on during, X amount of hours. And it basically was a remake of the original Zelda. But you weren't playing as Link, you were playing as some random other characters, and you could only play following it was all narrated.
Yep.
It's wild. I can't remember what the name of it is called, but people have been trying to find those source files because once it was off the air, you couldn't play it.
Yep.
And it was something you connected your NES or the Famicom to. It was so cool.
So the Power Glove was ahead of its time and needs to make a comeback. It slowly kind of is, though, in the terms of VR.
VR is coming back. Yeah.
You see people with the VR gloves where it's one-to-one hand motion type.
You're getting
that kind of stuff?
not the sensors, but the bodysuit tracking, which is helps a lot.
And in all honesty, that's as close as we'll ever get to the Power Glove again. Is all of that VR type tech. And yes, the Virtual Boy was, on the other hand, took so many young people's eyes.
Still is.
Red beams burned into your soul.
Still is.
I remember trying it in Toys R Us. They had the one like hanging.
Yep.
Like you had to fanjangle the thing down onto you. And then it was. I remember looking at it, going, "Why is everything red? Why does it look like junk? Why am I wearing the? Yeah, I can barely see what's going on. Like I have no idea what's happening to me. Right. I just got really confused, and I was like, "Well, that's a piece of junk." Like I knew that.
It's really sad that was the predecessor to the guy who made the Game Boy. Like that's what he ended up making.
Well, then but really the 3DS came out of all of that. Like the thought idea, the thought process, everything. Like it's worth experimenting. Mm-hmm. It just maybe that should have been one of those experiments that never hit the shelf. Yeah.
But yeah, Resident Evil 7.
Resident Evil 7, Brian.
I definitely need to play that in VR.
Toys R Us, and Star Fox, and Mario Tennis. Yes, that is what I remember playing.
Yes.
VR Resident Evil 7.
VR Resident Evil 7. What else have you been up to, Brian?
Played a little bit of Steep last night, just to, get my skiing.
You're not getting enough snow right now?
It's I don't know.
You can't get into trees in real life. In a jet suit.
Yeah, I would be dead a lot of times.
Yeah.
I hit so many trees.
Just like real life.
Just like real life. That's all I played, and then I went to see Aquaman.
That was Aquaman.
Did you enjoy Aquaman?
I actually really enjoyed it.
Good.
I really liked it.
I
thought it was like mixing Avatar with like Indiana Jones and.
Okay, all right, that's bold. Those two are bold statements to compare it. No.
Did you say it was as good as Indiana Jones?
No, I heard it's like Avatar with meets Indiana Jones, and that's bold.
It's obviously not as good as Indiana Jones.
What about Avatar?
Everything's as good.
Avatar, like the whole world, like.
Wait, hold on. Which Avatar? I can't believe I have to ask you this question.
The one with that little bald kid.
Which
no,
one?
not with the little bald kid. Like James Cameron's Avatar.
Okay.
James Cameron's Avatar.
All right, not the Avatar, the Last Airbender.
The one with
the
guy who takes his clothes off in it.
You mean Pocahontas?
No, Magic Mike.
Pocahontas.
Yeah, Magic Mike.
Pocahontas.
Magic Mike.
Pocahontas.
Yeah, I know.
So space Pocahontas. So Aquaman.
With Indiana Jones.
So Aquaman is basically space Pocahontas
with Indiana Jones
and old Harrison Ford.
I think what really intrigued me was that no one's ever done this thing where something's so deep underwater, except like
CG hair.
Like the Abyss from a long time ago.
I was gonna say the Little Mermaid would like to talk to you.
Little Mermaid, it was all just normal animals we've all seen before.
And
giant horses I can ride, please.
I was gonna say, I believe King Triton was in a chariot pulled by like sea animals. So just saying.
I've played Kingdom Hearts. I know how this works.
Really cool to see fights with tridents.
Yeah, that sounds neat.
Yeah, that sounds. Yeah. That always.
I've never seen a fight like that before.
Trident fights sound awesome all the time.
Yeah, but I won't say too much more. I think it's probably the best DCEU movie they've made so far.
That's not hard. That's not.
I was gonna say it's up against Wonder Woman.
The bars are pretty low.
I think it's better than Wonder Woman.
That's good.
Okay, all right.
But again, like Wonder Woman, and I think from what we've heard of Aquaman, they're those movies that they're having fun with the actual comic stuff. Like they're looking at the comics, going, "This guy wears green pants and an orange shirt and talks to fish
underwater. Like
let's do
underwater.
This.
He rides seahorses.
How can we make him cool? Let's not make him.
Let's just
blonde,
do that.
Let's not make him a blonde rich boy. We'll give him a beard. That'll make him look tough.
And then we'll just do that.
And the rest of the story is cool. Aquaman really gets a lot of guff because of like the blonde coif that he has going on and the like baby face.
Yes, yes.
Like legitimately putting.
That was much more macho in this one.
How do we make Black Manta cool? Let's just do him.
Yeah, done.
Let's just do him.
Correct.
He's cool. He shoots lasers out of his eyes.
Yeah.
Like you can't not go wrong with that.
They live under the water. What more do you need? Like, do that, and you've got a movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's already crazy enough. Just go all the way. Just
Yeah.
pedal to the metal. Just go all the way through.
You're already there. Like, stick with it. I don't know. That's my opinion.
That seems like a right way to do a comic book movie.
Really? Just stick to the comics a little bit? Bright colors? Action?
One-liners?
Absurdity?
Yes. And apparently Jason Momoa.
And Jason Momoa.
Hey, just a moment, yeah.
Because, yeah, legitimately, that's where DC was missing a lot of their stuff was...
Mm-hmm.
The campiness.
Agreed.
The
campiness.
campy.
You have to have a sense of unrealism.
There are old Superman comics where, again, and I always go back to this one because it always made me laugh, he's stuck in a spider web. Mm-hmm. And he's like, what am I going to do? How am I going to get out of this, Superman? Gonna use your super strength? Your laser beam eyes? Your frost breath? Nope, he's gonna use his super knitting powers. And he knit himself a sweater out of spider silk. And you're just like, to escape the spider web, and it's like...
Super knitting.
Super knitting. That's, yeah.
That's one of his new
He's
powers.
being constructive instead of destructive.
But legitimately, like, that's... The DCEU movies we would have gotten, he would have gotten stuck in a spider web, and he would have destroyed half of a city just to get out.
Yeah.
He's still
Start it! Fire! Everything's on fire!
Like, that's the thing is, we want the campy. So again, even if it's just like, I'm going to reflect my laser beam eyes off of a mirror and, like, cut my way out. However, you know.
That's how he shaves. That's how Superman shaves.
Legit, put that in a movie.
Yeah.
That's how he shaves. I've watched animated shows.
I would love seeing that in, like, Henry Cavill walking up to a mirror and
he
just...
might not be Superman.
He won't be anymore. You know, like,
once Affleck's gone.
but, like, watching whoever plays Superman walk up to a mirror and instead of shaving with a razor, legitimately eye beaming through the... That would make a movie. Like, that sets the tone right there.
Like,
Yeah,
It's not that it's
would.
completely goofy. It's just, I've got
there's a
these
sense
powers, I'm lazy.
there's a sense of realism, but unrealism to that.
Yeah.
Like, it's logical that that's how he would shave, because no other razor can do that.
Technically, yes, it should be a tink.
So, unless it's a kryptonite razor.
That would cut his skin, though.
Yeah,
like,
you'd be cutting something else.
yeah. All these, like, kryptonite branded things around the house. It's like,
that seems safe.
why do I always feel weak when I come home?
That's real, like, just like real life. This is what humans
Yeah.
are like when they're coming home from work.
Okay, come home, flops on the couch. Tough day? No, but I'm so tired now and I don't know why. Maybe it's the kryptonite coat hanger that you put everything on. I don't know.
That's how you hang up such a cool suit, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
Cool.
else, Brian? What else?
Then I watched an old movie, A Walk Among the Tombstones, with Liam Neeson.
Did he
Cool.
threaten people and beat them up?
Did
he fight a wolf?
That's a different
No,
Liam
not
Neeson.
the wolf fighting one.
Why
There's one where he's a cop,
Mm.
and then he's no longer a cop, but someone hires him to use his detective skills to find out who's killing women.
And then beat them up.
That sounds a lot like the Happy Time Fun Murders, except instead of Liam Neeson, it's a Muppet.
Yeah.
I would actually compare this almost to like.
So what you say? The Happy Time Fun Murders is a ripoff
Of a Liam
Neeson film. Gotcha.
Yes.
Gotcha.
So you would rather watch this than you're saying, what's it called? Taken.
Taken. Yeah.
Really?
This one has
enjoyed
more
Taken. The
detective
first
feel
one.
to it, which is
The
cool.
first Taken was okay.
Yeah.
The first Taken kind of went all over the place a little bit after a while.
Yeah.
Of course it did. It's ridiculous.
Well, because it went from, like, daughter getting kidnapped to all of a sudden, like, you know, freeing a bunch of sex slaves, and you're like, oh, this took a twist.
Yes. But it's not it's not his daughter, so he has to keep freeing slaves until he finds his daughter.
Exactly. It's like, you should get out of this situation. It's like, shouldn't you help these people?
No, I need
No,
to
you're
find
not my daughter.
Complete walking contradiction.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool thing, you can see a younger David Harbour in this movie.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Cool.
He's quite a bit thinner.
I think they built him up though a lot for that's Stranger Things guy.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah. See. Yeah, that's all I've done. Good movie.
Good. Cool.
Yeah, I'd see it. If you haven't seen it.
There you go.
Yes.
Yeah.
Brian, you should get your computer back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know I should.
You should go right now.
Yeah, you should call those people. Don't go right now. Go after the thing.
The
Call them.
roads are scary.
Roads are not scary.
They'll be fine by now, dude. There's been graders and things out.
I heard the graders this morning.
Yeah. You'll be fine, unless like your complex is like, or your area is that bad.
No, I don't know. At least according to the community page, everyone's saying it's really bad out there.
Well,
that's because they haven't been able to escape the community yet.
But I could always check it and see what it's like, I guess.
If you open the door, you can see
the outside.
Yeah.
The windows.
Whoa! You don't even have to open the door.
No.
Whoa! Holes in the walls. What'll they think of next? Like some kind of clear thing to put in between so the air doesn't get in.
Sometimes you can open it.
That great advancement in technology. So if it's ever nice outside, it'll actually.
Or if you're too hot inside.
Dig it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. Tony.
I caught up on The Good Place first and foremost.
Good stuff.
Yeah, it is the season finale, right?
The season finale.
Not the ending I was expecting.
No.
No, super not the. My problem with that ending was that it wasn't like a surprise. Like I was expecting something like the last 5 seconds of like, oh, this is happening.
Yes.
No, but they just followed through with that piece from the middle.
They did. They wanted to end on a more like heartfelt moment than a surprise, because the twist is supposed to be the heartfelt moment thing.
So it's that sad, but we'll see what happens with the next season and next season after that too.
Yep.
And I did watch the last week's episode of Brooklyn Nine-Nine.
I have not watched this.
I have not watched this week's episode, but I really appreciate where they're bringing Gina's character.
Yes.
That's the way that I think that character should go.
Yeah.
And at least they're writing it and setting it up in a proper fashion.
Yeah, it's not all of a sudden she's just not there.
Yeah.
Yeah. You mean hit by a bus?
See, I watched that and I didn't watch it. Like I watched it on Netflix.
Yes.
So for me, I was like, oh, okay, I'll just watch the next episode. What happened? Yeah. So I didn't get that. I don't have that
space. Yeah.
So that was not as impactful to me.
Yeah. She got hit by a bus.
So watched that, and Kingdom Hearts 3 came out.
No.
Oh yeah. So yeah, let's start with what the little problems of Kingdom Hearts 3.
All right.
I think that there is some writing problems, not because the story's convoluted. And impenetrable. That's always going to be an issue.
Yes.
But there's just some writing things in there that's you have to realize that it's a kid's game.
Yes.
It's not like an adult, like action-oriented game, even
Sure.
though it's clearly targeted towards people like myself, who have played the game since 2000 and whatever.
Yeah.
But it's just like, oh, the characters will introduce themselves, and then they go, oh, hi, Sora, Donald, Goofy, like every 5 seconds where they're introducing people. Or like, we'll see you guys later, Sora, Donald, Goofy, see you guys next time. I'm like, but you could just say, you guys, or like Sora and crew. Like,
I feel like Sora's the only one you might have to do that with. If you're playing a Kingdom Hearts game and you do not recognize Donald and Goofy, you need to get your head checked.
And that's fine. So as long as they say stuff like that, but it's just that extra like weird direction of like, oh, they recorded everything for this, and
that's legitimately going to come up at a part of the game where it's like, how many times have we said
Sora,
Goofy?
In that order, Sora, Donald, Goofy. So there's that.
What you don't know is it's a puzzle somewhere in the game, and they're just setting it up. It's a bunch of foreshadowing.
And then of course my other, I don't want to say it's a complaint for me because I'm engrossed in that narrative. That game is impenetrable for people who have never played a single Kingdom Hearts game. It is so ridiculous. They expect you to jump in and just know that there is a difference between Heartless, Nobodies, the organization, the fact that the organization no longer exists, the fact that Ansem is also Xehanort and also Xemnas from different timelines. It's so ridiculous for someone who doesn't know anything about Kingdom Hearts to get into.
I have noticed an abundance of videos on YouTube, though, that are...
It's one of those things that's like the big...
Trying to help.
And I was going to say, that's the newest trend on YouTube is Kingdom Hearts Explained.
Exactly.
And at the end of the day, you can't explain this story. It is so convoluted and it's so remarkably backwards on itself.
Yeah.
That if you haven't been there since day one or played the games, starting from 1 to whatever, it's ridiculous. And the fact that everything it's still like all those other mini games or those smaller spin-off games, those stories count.
Sure, they impact.
It's like the one on the terrible 3DS game.
Yep.
That story is hugely impactful of the start of Kingdom Hearts 3. Because as a regular player, yes, okay, I'm going to boot Kingdom Hearts 3 up. Sora starts at level 1. The story is that he had lost the power of light and the power of waking from the last game.
Right.
And if you think about it, it's like, okay, cool. Something happened from Kingdom Hearts 2. No, there's all these other little games that happen between there, and they expect you to follow that. And thankfully, they do have, when you first boot the game up, there's like a theater mode, which it's like 5 separate videos. You can watch them on YouTube now, too.
Sure.
But they detailed events throughout the Kingdom Hearts timeline.
Okay.
That do get you kind of caught up to speed.
Yeah.
But there's so much little minutia details where it's like, oh, now there's Ansem's now traveling through time to gather his evil selves from all these different time periods so he can reform the 13 darknesses to form Kingdom Hearts. I'm like, if I didn't play these games from the beginning, I would be so lost.
Yes.
I can see it in your face already. It's like, yes.
Well, and again, I've watched started watching a couple videos online.
And you kind of have to just pick 1 or 2 and just kind of go with it.
And that's essentially it. And from what I've seen online so far, the ones that are doing the better job are the ones that are like bringing in clips from the game or doing little things going like, okay, so you have this guy, like they're doing graphs almost of like you have Bob, and Bob met this person.
Remember Shion?
And then Bob and this person melded together at one point, don't ask, and then they became, and you're going, okay.
So Roxas is Sora's nobody.
Yeah.
But then when he reformed back into Sora, they also created before that, the organization also created a copy of Roxas called Shion. Shion had to, I'm like,
yeah, you really just need like guides with like this person does this, this
like
person
there's
does that, and this.
You need the cork chart. You need the cork board of like the string. This person is also related to this person in this timeline, but then he is also related to. And it's just,
and it all leads back to Haley Joel Osment being able to see ghosts.
Yes. Which I think it's cool that they still have the same voice actor from the very first Kingdom Hearts. And there's a bit of a pleasure, I guess, watching him as a kid do this voice acting work. And now he's an adult. But Sora's also grown up in the game, so now he's an adult in the game.
Yep, doing his thing.
It's a little bit satisfying watching that and hearing him, like, I was like, cool. I've like, back when I was a kid, you were also a kid. Now you were, my age and doing
I think he was 14 when the first one came out.
Yeah, something ridiculously. Yeah, it was super cool. That aside, the combat in Kingdom Hearts 3, it is by far the craziest, wackiest combat I've ever seen. Do you enjoy combat meters? Because this game has lots of combat meters. Okay, I had to actually write some of these down because I was getting lost halfway through this game. I was like, what? Because Kingdom Hearts 3 is kind of the culmination of all the combat systems.
Yeah.
Of all
oh god, Brian's fallen.
Brian's dead.
Oh, we got him back. He's alive. Oh my god.
So, Kingdom Hearts 3 is a culmination of all of the combat systems from the previous games, even the 3DS game, even the DS game. First and foremost, you have different Keyblades. Obviously, you're getting different Keyblades from different worlds. Okay. As you complete a world, you get that world's Keyblade. So, when you finish the Olympus, that's the first world.
Mm-hmm.
You get it's like the Olympus key or the hero's key or something like that, and that provides you some additional strength. One of the game's meters is that the more combat or the more hits you take, or more hits you give, the more hits you do, your Keyblade can change form into a different form.
Excellent.
So, and each Keyblade has its own unique form change.
All right. It digivolves.
It digivolves. So the Keyblade then turns into the hero's shield, specifically the Olympus one.
That one, yes.
And so there's ones that turn into guns. There's ones that turn into spellcasting staffs.
Can I get a gun blade?
I don't know. Maybe?
Because that was always the weirdest invention out of Final Fantasy for me was...
The gunblade?
The gunblade.
Never... Scientifically should not make sense.
Correct, because, again, the bullet comes out into the blade.
Yes. But the blade is also the gun.
But it's not like I could understand if the barrel went all the way up and you still had a sword, but it's legitimately like a pistol attached.
And then you do more damage when you hit the R1 button.
I love that part. Yeah, well, I played on the computer, so it was E.
Sure.
Yeah, but you hit the trigger and essentially like you're cutting someone and shooting them at the same time, and it's like I don't understand how this weapon works.
Right. And that's a lot of what Keyblades are. That it doesn't make any sense why Keyblades work. Like, you'll have a regular Keyblade, and you're hitting, and then you hit the form change button, which, keep in mind, it's the triangle button, or whatever the top button is on the Xbox.
Okay, yeah.
And then it turns into guns.
Excellent.
And then you can shoot for X amount of time before it turns back into a regular Keyblade.
All right.
That's 1 meter.
Excellent.
The other meter is for the magic. So the magic has never been great in a Kingdom Hearts game. It's always been relegated to that MP bar.
Yeah.
And once you're out, then you can't use it for like 40 seconds or 30 seconds or whatever.
Yep.
So it has to recharge.
Yep.
But the more magic you use, you fill up a magic meter gauge.
Excellent.
Which is a bigger magic attack. So if you're using a lot of fire, it turns into Fire Guy or whatever, Fire 2 or whatever.
Firaga or whatever.
Yeah. That's also the triangle button.
Fire,
Firaga,
yeah.
So they like Blizzard, Blizzaga, whatever. That's also mapped to the triangle button. I'll get to this.
Okay.
I'll get to that. Ride summons. So that was the big.
Oh, right, they can get Disneyland rides.
Right. So that's another meter that you have in the game. When you start an encounter.
Yeah.
One of the enemies randomly will have a green circle on it. And so it's going to be a meter that kind of ticks down. And so you want to try and hit that enemy at least once. If you hit him, you can activate a ride summon. And the ride summons are randomized from what I can tell.
Okay.
So, I mean, certain stages will only give you certain ride summons. So right now I'm in Andy's toy box. Okay. So the one it's giving me is the...
it's Astro Blasters?
Yeah, I think it's the one from Toy Story Mania.
Did you pull a string to shoot something, or are you blasting a blaster?
Blasting.
That's
isn't that one from
Astro Blasters?
Okay, so they don't call it Astro Blaster. I think they call it something Blaster. Yeah. And so each summon it acts a little bit differently. So for the Astro Blasters, you are basically in a cart and you're shooting enemies.
Excellent.
You can have a carousel. You can have the pirate ship.
Makes sense.
You can have a.
Is there a log flume?
I'm not sure. You can have the teacups.
Dumbo?
Sorry?
Can you ride Dumbo?
Dumbo?
Can you ride Dumbo?
Soon. I'll get to that.
No, we're not
There's so many more things
yet.
in the combat that makes this game so weird. And so as you can basically, the Wild Rapids is my favorite one so far.
The Grizzly Rat? Like, you're in a...
Yeah.
All right.
So what that summon is you're moving your cart or craft around, and you're making this water trail. You're making a water trail that's actually damaging opponents, and you can choose to jump up and down. And something I didn't mention in the form, like the Keyblade thing. Yeah. After a while, you can hit the triangle button.
Of course.
And it's the finish button, which ends that form automatically, but you have a huge attack. Each one of these forms has a finish button. It's so weird. Okay. Everything's mapped to the triangle button, by the way. If you haven't figured this out yet, everything's mapped to the triangle. It makes it really easy.
How do you walk? Triangle button. How do you move? Triangle button.
How do I heal? Triangle
button.
So yeah, for the Wild Rapids one, if you hit the finish button, the rapid actually goes backwards on your water trail, and you can hit the enemies again. So everything's got a finish button to it.
Word.
Partner attacks.
Of course.
So you have partner attacks with Donald, you have partner attacks with Goofy. Those seem to be randomized at the time being, time being. Like it's right now when I do a partner attack with Donald, when it pops up, again, it's on the triangle button.
Of course.
It's on the triangle button. He now does a meteor attack. With Donald, I do a Trinity shield bash. So we just kind of go behind Goofy and he shield bashes enemies. That also has I don't think that has a finishing move to it because those just happen.
Sure.
Mapped to the triangle button.
Of course.
What else is mapped to the triangle button?
As Brian was just doing.
A triangle button. And so you might say, what if you have multiple meters stacked on top of each other?
That was going to be my question.
When you press the triangle button, you do the first one that has been added to your stack. So, for example,
I was looking at you like all of them.
So here,
Super mega attack.
so here's the crazy part about this game. If you stack enough of those back to back, you never have to attack with your Keyblade.
Sure.
You're always constantly summoning rides. You're always constantly form changing into different pieces for your Keyblade.
Yeah.
The Olympus Keyblade.
Yep.
When you hit the finishing move, you actually jump onto Chariot with Pegasus, and you summon lightning down onto the battlefield as the finishing move. It is the weirdest, most colorful, most outlandishly cool combat system I've ever seen, and it just works. So there's that. You also have a focus meter.
Of course.
Right?
You need to focus on
you need
something.
To focus on something.
Yes.
From what I gather with the focus meter, it's not so much the triangle button, but you need to hold the R1 button or whatever it is on the Xbox, your shoulder button. And time kind of slows down, and you can kind of target enemies, and then when you hit the X button, it shoots all of them with your little, whatever, I think it's like a gun or something like that. Another option is if you're close enough to the enemies, you can use something called an air step.
All right.
Which allows you to basically jump on top of the enemies and combo and hit all of them at once. So it's kind of like a focus, you hit everyone at once kind of thing.
Yeah.
So that's really, really cool.
Bullet timed.
Flow motion attacks, which was which was a mechanic specifically from the 3DS game.
Excellent.
I didn't think they were going to bring it back. And so what happens is if you air dash into certain objects, you will actually float around them, and then you can actually cause a whirlwind, bringing enemies towards you, and you can damage them that way.
Ooh.
It's cool. It's cool in motion.
Excellent.
You asked about Dumbo.
Well, 'cause it's the ride.
So there's another link meter.
Is this game like 90% HUD?
It's a little bit. It's crazy.
Because in my brain right now, all I see is like
there's HUDs
meters every.
It's actually
health
really
bars.
It's
and
pretty.
This and that.
It's pretty well concise. Like when you stack the meters.
Yeah, they.
And so you have a limited amount of time before you can hit the triangle button. So for example, if you activate or if you hit the summon, like the green circled enemy, you have I think like 40 seconds
to use
that summon before it dissipates. Same thing with the Keyblade form changes. Once you're ready to form change, you get like 40 seconds and then you can press the triangle.
Yeah.
So that's why you can stack different effects back to back because you can see when ones expire. With the link attacks, it sounds like that you can call enemies or allies from the past games to help you out. So, for example, you can call in the Dream Eaters from the 3DS game.
Okay.
Don't worry.
No, we're good.
Don't worry about that.
I've played most of those ones slightly.
You can also call in other characters from Disney properties to help you out. So Wreck-It Ralph, I just unlocked him.
Nice.
And when you summon him in...
He's going to wreck it?
He wrecks everything. I don't know if he's voiced by John C. Reilly. I don't know.
They're usually...
Maybe... I feel like they just grabbed audio clips from the movie. Because he's only in there for like 30 or 40 seconds.
Yeah, then they might...
And yeah, like when you summon Ralph in, you jump on his shoulders and then you control Ralph.
Cool.
So that's... The combat is really, really... As meter intensive as it is, as little combat as I've actually done in the game, past summoning shit.
Yep.
It's actually really, it flows really well. Past the combat, there is the gummy ship travel scenes, which everybody hated.
All right.
In all of the games. Thankfully, they've actually went back to the drawing board for the gummy ship sequences.
Yep.
Because what you do is you travel from world to world. In the past games, you would choose to go from, I don't know, like Twilight Town to Pride Rock.
Yep.
And you would go on that path towards Pride Rock. Now it's an open space game.
Okay.
And so you control your gummy ship through space, and you're shooting asteroids, and you're shooting enemies in instanced in our scenarios. So if you see an enemy on the field, you bump into them, and it turns into like this little combat sequence all in and of itself.
Okay. Just looking up voices.
Yeah,
Still
that's fair.
Yep.
Yeah. And so the gummy scenes, ship scenes are a lot more fluid than the last time. There's a lot more control because it's a 3D environment now. You can go anywhere you want rather than trying to follow the specific path. The gummy building will never be good. Building your own gummy ship will never be good. I have just taken the liberty to build my own ship and because when you build a gummy ship, you need a cockpit, and you need engines.
All right.
You don't need anything else. And so to build your gummy ship, you have X amount of block spaces to use. So I've literally min-maxed my ship to have a cockpit, engines,
Yep.
and only guns.
All right.
So I can shoot enemies. And so that's what you use to travel between world to world. What other like crazy shit is in this game? Oh yeah, like the fact that you go to a specific like Olympus.
Okay.
You've been to Olympus in the past.
Yeah.
Or you've seen Hercules in the past. So part of the intro sequences.
It's always like I hate those levels. I think that's where I keep getting stuck on one of the games. Is like I get there and I'm like, I am so done with Phil and Olympus.
Okay,
and...
so there is something really weird happening with voice casting in this game.
Yep.
Because they obviously got voices to try and match Hercules, Meg. Phil is in the game.
Yes.
But he's not voiced.
Oh.
He doesn't say a damn word. It's like they couldn't either A, get Danny DeVito, or get someone to sound like Danny DeVito to play Phil. Because in all the sequences in the Olympus section, it's like, yes, why is Phil not wisecracking? Like you would imagine Phil is wise. They got James Woods to be Hades again.
Yep. I was gonna say most of these they're getting like 90% of the voice actors are back.
I did finish the Kingdom of Corona, which is the Tangled level.
Yeah.
Which was super fun.
Yeah.
It's super cool. They did get Zachary Levi.
Yep.
For Flynn.
They did not
Eugene,
get her.
Mandy Moore.
They did not get.
They did not get Mandy Moore. So, but she does sound like Mandy Moore.
Yeah.
For all intended purposes.
Kelsey Lansdowne plays Rapunzel, but yeah, Zachary Levi is Flynn Rider.
Yep.
He does the cartoon though, I believe.
Okay.
Like he does voice
Flynn
in Tangled the series.
Okay. And honestly, it's Zachary Levi. He'll probably say yes to most anything.
Well, again, especially voice work when it's, hey, I'm Flynn Rider. How's it going? Not to make fun of Flynn. He's like my favorite guy, and like that's my favorite movie series.
Yeah, and so it's weird watching because normally with Kingdom Hearts games is they try to follow the story of the movie.
Yeah.
Well, with Olympus, you kind of already did that in the first game, so they had to write their own original story for this game, which is fine. It works out perfectly well. It's just Hades up to no good again. He's trying to release the Titans.
Sure.
And blah 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 blah. Rapunzel's level was basically like it was the movie all the way to the end.
Cool.
Which was cool. Toy Story was not. So far is not the same. Like it is nothing related to any of the movies. From what it looks like, it takes place after Toy Story 2 because they reference Zurg, and they reference the Jesse and them because they're the level starts off. It's Woody, Buzz, Rex, Ham, and the
Buzz Lightyear voiced by Mike McRae. By the way,
not sure. Is Woody voiced by Hank's brother?
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense to me. And it looks good. The Toy Story level looks so
in all honesty,
good.
It should be one of the best looking levels just because it's a 3D animated,
It's that level.
Yeah.
It's that story. And there must be so many Easter eggs that I'm missing.
TJ Miller made it in.
What is he voicing? Or should you?
I'm not going to tell you, but
Okay.
TJ Miller made it in.
All right.
There's people. John Ratzenberger, who always voices people, so he's Ham.
Yeah. I think they got most of the cast for Frozen.
They did.
If not all of it.
They got them all. Josh Gad's in here. Elsa and Anna are played by Kristen Bell and Idina Menzel.
Yeah, so they got everyone for Frozen, from my understanding.
Yep.
This game is 100% Disney through and through, but it's also that Kingdom Hearts bullshit on top of that all.
Right.
So the reason why you're going to this Toy Story Land is because the organization is trying to find out why toys have hearts. And so they're trying to extract the hearts from toys, and that's why you're there.
All right.
In the Tangled level, you basically the organization is saying, okay, we'll help the Mother Gothel bring Rapunzel back to the tower. Like she needs to keep her safe because we want to use Rapunzel's hair to try and Rapunzel is our backup plan in case anything goes south. Like she can obviously heal shit and reverse time or whatever she does with her hair. We want to hold on to her. I don't know.
It heals people. It
heals people. And so that's why they were there in that world.
Flowers gleam and glow. Make your power shine.
That's in there. There's not much songs in the Riven, the Arendelle, not Arendelle, the Tangled stuff.
And that makes sense.
I'm surprised. I was surprised.
There was no big hit song though that really took off from Tangled.
I was expecting like Be Your Dream or something like that.
Maybe something like that. But yeah, there was no big takeoff. Like it's not like Let It Go where people are like, oh.
But yeah, like they wrote the Toy Story piece in perfectly, and the fact that there's only these 5 characters from Toy Story, they couldn't get the other voice actors.
They got Rex. That's the same guy.
Yeah, they got most of everyone.
Inconceivable. Oh my god, he has to say inconceivable in a movie if he hasn't already, because it's the same guy from The Princess Bride.
I'm trying to think if he says it in the game. I'm not done the level yet. So the big catch is that once you finish, in typical Kingdom Hearts fashion, is once you finish that level, you have to come back to it at a later point in the game.
Sure.
So I'm not sure what they're gonna do with the Tangled stuff, because the ending of the movie is basically the ending of that level. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do.
They have a little cartoon show to go off of now.
Maybe. I haven't seen it, so it'll be a nice surprise.
It will be a good surprise.
I'm looking forward to San Francisco really badly.
Because I really where T.J. Miller comes in, because he played a character in that.
Oh yeah, he was I know that character. Yeah, that's fine.
I wasn't sure if you knew.
I knew I knew BrNN 6 was in the game.
Okay.
And
they got the voice actor for Baymax too.
Yeah, they got everyone for that.
Yeah.
So I saw the cast listing for that.
There you go.
That I still haven't looked and seen if they have any hidden worlds that they haven't announced. Because that's my thing is.
That's why I didn't want to say anything. I'm like, I don't want to ruin you by saying like, oh, did you know that Jim Hanks voices Woody without knowing?
Oh man, did you see that? Not James Woods. James Earl Jones is Darth Vader in this game.
Yeah, like, exactly. Like I don't want to throw anything like that at you because it's like that would.
We don't know. Like and it's so early with this game. There's the people are very very hush hush on their spoilers.
And Goofy and Donald are Goofy and Donald. Like those guys are the legit.
I wanted to turn off subtitles when I started the game. I'm like, I should be okay. And then Donald started speaking. I was like, oh, that's right.
And you're just like, and we're out.
Yeah, I need to subtitles on again, please. Can I just have character subtitles
just
specifically
Donald,
just Donald, or get the guy from War Machine. Get him just a voice.
Don Cheadle.
Don Cheadle. Yeah,
great
just get Don Cheadle to voice. It's the Don Cheadle voiceover pack. I'd pay for that.
There's a lot of Pixar stuff in this one. Yes. I think we knew that already. Though,
Toy Story. I don't think Cars is in it.
I do not see Cars things.
So,
but this list is there's miles long.
Yeah, there's a lot of Pixar stuff.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they got everybody. So all the Frozen cast is here, which kind of makes sense because they were also filming Frozen 2 in the last little bit. So that's honestly one of those. They probably were like, guys, can we throw some extra lines in for you while you're
yeah. Which Disney's so confusing to me. Like they're so open and welcome to this game.
Yeah.
And then there's other Disney property games that are dropping it off. Like Marvel's Spider-Man is obviously amazing.
Sure.
And then this one, Kingdom Hearts. This is the one game that shouldn't exist.
No.
It seems like a paradox.
When it comes to all the properties that involve,
it's how tight they are with their properties.
Well, Square is. Same with
like Square is pretty loosey-goosey, I imagine, but it's just them working with Disney. It's like everything, like that Toy Story level must have been very much like, we need to send emails, like thousands of emails back and forth of like, this is what this character is going to do. Are you okay with this? No? Okay, now he's going to do this.
Even putting together Disney Infinity, which was a Disney-made game. Never mind, like the fact that, Kingdom Hearts is Square Enix making a Disney
Kingdom Hearts is actually Disney's.
I get it.
Technically.
But, like, going through that route,
yeah.
Disney Infinity, to put all of those characters in together, was billions of emails back and forth to each other.
So, like, this is the game that should not exist.
No.
Kingdom Hearts 3, in its entirety, with Monsters, Inc., with Toy Story, should not...
Your Monsters, Inc. people aren't the original voice.
It doesn't surprise me.
You couldn't get Billy
Mm. Hmm. 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 Mm. I won't.
We've got a Brian's face.
Now
Do
Brian-
you want to switch audio?
Now Brian's face is a window.
Okay, so like, subscribe, share.
Go to our website.
Go to our website.
Find information about all of those things there.
Yes, and Discord. You can find all that at barrelrollnews.com.
Yes.
Also in the descriptions below, because I do post them thereafter. Thanks for watching, everybody, and we will see you
Next time.
next time. Thanks for watching. Bye!